Hey, it's Timmy here with you for. Actually, I've been getting lots of questions coming in through the internets, through the emails, and this question is a tough one. If I'm honest, this is a tough one. So I need more coffee. All right, this one comes in from someone here on Facebook. And they asked me, what do you do if you've married the wrong person or you feel like you've married the wrong person? Okay, let me establish a few things first here. Number one, I don't support divorce. I don't believe in divorce. I know it happens, so clearly. And do I think you can marry the wrong person? Yes, definitely. I think that probably many of you would agree. For those of you, some of you on your second or third marriage, uh, it took you a couple times to really find the right person. So, and I'll be honest, raised in a very religious way, very Christian upbringing, and leaving that world, I still probably have a lot of things from my past that influence my thinking to a certain degree. But I've given this a lot of thought, and as a relationship coach and as someone that works with a lot of couples and wants to help couples have the best relationship that they possibly can, as a wedding officiant, I want to equip couples that I marry with the best chance of making it go the distance, which is what they want, right? No one goes to the altar thinking, if it doesn't work out, we'll just get divorced. That's not that. If that's your thinking when you go into it, I don't think that's a super good thought to have or to hold. Even though it's there, we all know that, right? When people say divorce isn't an option, I mean, okay, right? But it is, right? It is an option. And we have certain criteria, right, that we think, this is worthy of divorce, this is worthy of divorce, and whatever. But all that aside, and let's push all the religious stuff aside, and can we just be very honest with each other here? Because coming from the religious background, divorce, no. You made those vows, you made those commitments, you stay together, hell or high water, it doesn't matter, you work it out. Though there's some of those sentiments that I still hold to, I don't think it's a good idea to just stay with someone when it's an unhealthy, terrible marriage. I mean, life is too short, right? And unless reincarnation is some real thing, which no one knows, this is it. This is it. So why would you stay in a toxic relationship forever when you're miserable and there's no way your partner's not miserable? You know what I mean? Like that's a lose-lose. So I think that I would hope that all of us could see the reality of both scenarios. So can you, in fact, marry the wrong person? Well, clearly, of course, the answer is yes. You can marry the wrong person. But what do you do if you feel like you've married the wrong person? That's what the question was. What if you feel like you've married the wrong person? Well, I would say a couple things. One, I would get yourself into counseling ASAP, like right now, and do your best. Because here's the thing. When did you think it was the wrong person? I mean, when you were walking down the aisle? I mean, goodness gracious, you should have pulled the plug then. But if you thought he was the right or thought she was the right person at the altar, like what's changed, right? Like what's different between when you got married and now? And there could be lots of things. There could be several things that could lead to divorce. Betrayals, just growing apart, just there's so many reasons. I don't even want to get into all of those reasons because they're as vast as the number of people that are on the planet that have ever been divorced. There's just a bunch of different reasons. But sincerely, for real, like when I think about couples that are in a marriage and they're unhappy, I don't think that's good. Like, I don't think it's good to be in a marriage where you and or both are miserable and unhappy. I don't think that's a good thing. So let's just say you're watching this video and it's you. You're thinking and wondering, man, did I marry the wrong person? Well, again, I would say you got to sit with yourself and ask yourself, why do I think that? Like, what makes me think that this person is the wrong person? And again, unless you thought that from the beginning and you just thought that it would change, well, I don't believe things change like that, right? So if they were the wrong person then most likely they're still the wrong person, and it's the reason you feel the way you do. But what my professional advice would be, if you feel like you're married to the wrong person, you have to be open and honest, and you have to tell your partner. Now, I would advise go to counseling first and just see what the counselor might say. And it matters the counselor you go to, right? If you go to an uber religious counselor, they're just going to say, divorce is it's not an option, so you're going to just make it work. And again, while I support the idea of that, meaning do everything you can to make it work, do everything you can to reconcile, do everything you can to make you feel like you did when you married this person, which was, I feel like this is the right person. That's why I said yes, or that's why I asked, and that's why I'm at the altar. Okay, so I'm assuming a lot of things, right? Assuming you were at the altar whenever you married your partner, and at that point it was, or he was, she was the right person. Okay, so if they were the right person, I think that you could return to that person being the right person with a few things here. Can you grow apart? Yes, because you could connect with someone. You could have some kind of a trauma bonding. There could be some kind of hey, we both were musicians, and so we connected over that. And now, years later, we're not musicians. And so the connection that we once had, the thing that we once shared that really held us together is gone. And so there's no longer that connection there. And you weren't really all that compatible before. And so you take the one main thing that kept you together out of the picture, and now there's just no connection left. Can a connection be reestablished? Yes. Honestly, even if both of you are feeling like you have married the wrong person, you're both unhappy, I'm a huge advocate for counseling. And again, what kind of counselor you go to matters. I think that you could go to, if you're a Christian, you could go to a really good Christian counselor as long as they've got their head on straight and they're not so far to one side they can't think rationally, right? And don't even get me started with all that stuff. Some of the most rational people think the most unrational things. And I just am not going to let any of the thoughts and conversations that I've had with super religious people that just say things you're just like, what? What? Okay, so outside of that, you're married, you feel like you're with the wrong person, you have to be honest and open with your partner. You got to tell them how you feel. You've got to get yourself in counseling. You've got to do what the counselor, the therapist encourages you to do, because they're the ones with the wisdom, hopefully, to help you. Here's to really see if the connection's there. Here's the things to do, okay? And I've personally helped people off the brink of divorce. I've had many couples that I've helped that they were already had their attorneys. They were already filing for divorce, like they were going for divorce. And I helped them reestablish connection and come back to a healthy place. Not because I'm not magical. I just, I've been doing this a long time, and I know how that people that are right for each other can get lost in life and can get lost with time and things. and they just need to reestablish that connection and get back to where they were, when they first fell in love. And but now different people, there is a possibility, there is a real strong possibility that if you were in love before and had all those feelings, that you can get back to that place and reconnect. But not always. And again, I've also coached couples who I've coached so many couples, and as a wedding officiant, I do a lot of weddings for couples who have been married before. And it's always so interesting how they'll often say, yeah, I'm a better person now, or my partner's a better person now, and or this person's a better fit with me, and so this relationship is just light years different from the other relationship that I had. I remember specifically one couple that I worked with, and they had both been married before, and both felt like they had married the wrong person. And after 10 years or so, they called it quits, and then they remarried. And then I talked to them some 25 years into the second marriage, and how they both expressed how, we were young and different people, and we just made decisions based upon different criteria that we wouldn't make those decisions today. And so, yeah, my first marriage was difficult, it was challenging, and it was hard. We tried to make it work, but it just wouldn't work. And, here I am now in a second marriage, and it's just wonderful. It's just so easy, and we just get along so much better, and we're so much happier. And, and then my partner that I divorced, they found someone and they're happier. And, so clearly we have to be honest with ourselves and admit that it is very possible that who we married isn't the best fit for us, and or with time and different kind of situations and growth, they can become not the right person for us. But again, I have to just really make sure you're catching me here. When you feel that way, feelings are fickle, man. You can feel all kinds of crazy things in life, right? We don't live our lives based upon our feelings, right? I'm only going to change my kid's diaper when I feel like it. Well, that's ridiculous, right? You'll be picked up by CST or CT, whatever that thing is. Like, you're going to get in trouble. So clearly, do everything in your power to work it out. Like, genuinely heartfelt. And I would definitely say this. If you're having an outside relationship, if you're married and you're having an outside relationship, you have to stop that immediately. Okay? You have to stop that immediately and turn into your partner and see if you can make it work. But you're like, oh, but this is my soulmate now. I know I'm married to this person, but I met this person and I like them better. Let me just tell you, that is moronic, though I understand that, but don't do that. I mean, that's just you have to set that aside. Now, give this valiant effort. If it can work out, great. If it can't work out, fine. You get divorced, then you can go back to this person and see if it's truly what you thought it was. But I'm telling you, statistically, that kind of a situation is simply just pulling you away from your partner. And if you jump ship, that relationship statistically is going to crash and burn pretty quick. Okay, so stop doing that. Stop that. Turn into your partner. Give it a valiant effort. See if you can make it work. And hopefully you can make it work, especially if there are kids in the picture. I think there's a lot of reason to fight for the relationship when you have a partner, a spouse that you've committed to. You've done the thing. If you can make it work, great. Now, if one or the other, if they're saying they want a divorce, well, I mean, what can you do, right? If that's what they want, you just have to accept that and move on. But regardless, if you feel like you're married to the wrong person, just know feelings are fickle, feelings come and go. Okay, so I'm not saying ignore your feelings, but set them aside for a minute and do what you need to do to see if you can make it work. And hopefully you can make it work. and finish out your life together. But if you can't, then I would end with saying this: do it amicably, be kind, be generous, be respectful, right? Now, I know that can be difficult if the other one's not being that way. You know, send this video. If you're going through a divorce, send them this video. You know, come on, don't be an a-hole. Don't be a witch, right? I know they hurt you. I know they wronged you in your mind. I know it's get messy. I get it. I understand all of that. But come on, at the end of the day, there was a time when you loved each other, you respected each other, hopefully, and you, right, were kind to each other. You can return to that, because this person that you're trying to work it out with, is another human. All right. Okay. I just think this is getting too long. I'll maybe come back with more thoughts on this. Tough, great question. Thank you for sending it in. Tough one. Obviously, I spent more time on this video than most all the other videos, for sure, because it's a sensitive topic, because I don't support divorce, right? I'm not in favor of divorce. I know what happens, and I don't judge people for getting divorced, clearly. How could I, right? Okay, peace, everybody.